Kazuo Taoka was one of the most prominent yakuza godfathers. Known as the godfather of godfathers and the Japanese godfather, Taoka was third Kumicho of the Yamaguchi-gumi, Japan's largest yakuza organization, from 1946 to 1981. Taoka, an orphan, grew up as a young street fighter in Kobe under the guidance of Noboru Yamaguchi, the Yamaguchi-gumi's boss. I never wanted to be a yakuza. I used to work at Kawasaki shipyard, but I got into a fight with my boss and quit the company, so I couldn't go home. He was imprisoned for murder from 1937 to 1943 and assumed the role of Kumicho 3 years later, at the age of 33. A suggestion from a friend made Taoka realize that economic activities in the back alleys would come to a dead end. If you spread your hands, you will get into trouble and be interrogated by the police. High cost, low profit. After that, Taoka started a full-fledged port cargo handling business. In his time as boss, Taoka expanded the Yamaguchi-gumi from a small strike-breaking gang on the Kobe docks to the world's largest criminal syndicate, with over 10,000 members during its peak. Notoriously suspicious and wary of rival yakuza clans, he notably refused to join the Kanto-kai, an inter-yakuza confederation, in 1963. In 1972, following a period of tension between both gangs, Taoka forged an alliance between the Yamaguchi-gumi and the Inagawa-kai at a Sakazuki ceremony at his home. He had survived a 1978 assassination attempt when he was shot in the back of the neck by a member of the Matsuda-gumi, a rival gang to the Yamaguchi-gumi, during a limbo dance exhibition at a nightclub in Kyoto. His attacker was found dead several weeks later in some woods near Kobe. He led the Yamaguchi-gumi until his death from a heart attack in 1981. His wife, Fumiko, briefly filled the gang's leadership role until a new Kumicho, Masahisa Takenaka, was chosen in 1984. Masahisa Takenaka was the fourth Kumicho of the Yamaguchi-gumi. He took the role of Kumicho in 1984, but was assassinated at a girlfriend's home in Osaka early the next year by a rival faction, the Ichiwa-kai. The killing sparked a massive yakuza war, the Yamaichi War, in which 36 total members were killed and many more were injured. Yoshinori Watanabe was a yakuza, the fifth Kumicho of the Yamaguchi-gumi. He became Kumicho in 1989. He was known for a more low-key approach than his predecessors, partly due to an anti-gang law passed in 1992. Yoshinori Watanabe joined the Yamaguchi-gumi, a subgroup of the Yamaguchi-gumi yakuza, after moving to Kobe. In 1960, the Yamaguchi-gumi was involved in a deadly gang war in which Yoshinori Watanabe proved himself to be violent but effective mediator in resolving disputes. His hard work and talent helped propel him upward in the ranks of the yakuza underworld. In 1961, Watanabe spent a year in prison for possession of weapons, and he was again arrested in Osaka in the mid-70s for weapons possession. He became leader of Yamaguchi-gumi in 1982 and became the head of Yamaguchi-gumi in July 1989, at a ceremony in Kobe attended by over 100 affiliated gang leaders. At the time of his succession, which happened after a 4-year gang war between the Yamaguchi-gumi and the Ichiwa-kai, Watanabe was the fifth head of the Yamaguchi-gumi. During the first few years of being the fifth-generation Kumicho, Yoshinori Watanabe made very few changes to the Yamaguchi-gumi yakuza organization. In the early 1990s, Yoshinori Watanabe started to make some radical changes in the Yamaguchi-gumi yakuza organization. He successfully restructured the Yamaguchi-gumi in such a way that it increased the control of organization, had over internal and external dilemmas. Moreover, it made decreases to the police's ability to scrutinize all of the organization's activities, in order to make the Yamaguchi-gumi into a powerhouse of organized crime nationwide. Yoshinori Watanabe strengthened bonds with allies and formed new ones with rivals. By the year 2000, Yoshinori Watanabe had increased the size of the Yamaguchi-gumi by 5,000 gangster and maintained offices in 43 of the 47 Japanese prefectures. His home and headquarters in Kobe occupied the area of a city block and was known to neighbors as the castle. It was unscathed by the 1995 earthquake. And under Watanabe's order, the Yamaguchi-gumi claimed to have given away 1 billion yen of goods and 20,000 free lunches to survivors, although there were accusations that the motives were not wholly altruistic. Police estimated that he received $1 million a month from his aides in honoraria, and the full-time members of Yamaguchi-gumi had increased by 1/3 to 16,500 a decade after Watanabe took over. In November 2003, the Osaka High Court ordered that Watanabe and 3 others pay 80 million yen in damages for the killing of an off-duty policeman in 1995 by a Yamaguchi-gumi affiliate, and his appeal to the Supreme Court failed a year later. The rulings were historic in that they set a precedent in recognizing that a crime boss, though not directly involved in the criminal act, is responsible for the act if his subordinates are found guilty of that crime. These decisions specified what yakuza activities were considered business activities and that gang violence is closely related with the business. It was believed this new precedent would greatly affect the money-making ability of Yoshinori Watanabe, Yamaguchi-gumi, and other yakuza organizations. He retired from his position in July 2005, reportedly due to ill health.